Another thing we're going to look at that might be a little bit confusing are these pieces here, these 6 pieces shown on the layout. These are actually more pieces than that. This, you can draw a line cutting this in half on the diagonal, and the same here and the same here. What these are the pieces. These are actually 2 pieces that we're going to sew together. And this is the T-template C5, these 2, and these 2 are the C5, and this is C5 and C4. We're going to sew those together in pairs, and this is your unit B, one of the lengths. Then we'll sew this unit B to the C4 and C5s. So this was not explained in the instructions, but I'll show you how we do that next. These pieces were in bag B2, and here's our stack of 21 T-template C5s. We're only going to use 20, so let's take one out, and that can just be scrap. And then here are our 4 T-template C4s. Also, you'll see that these have the grain lines as well, so you know these are going to be on the outside of the quilt. What we're going to do first is take 4 of the C5s, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to put them aside here with the C4s. The remaining C5s we're going to sew together in pairs. So let's take these 2 off. We're going to sew these together just like this to make a long one. And then after we sew that together, we're going to take our B1 and we're going to sew it to the bottom like this. And this unit here that we end up with is this unit shown on this layout sheet. This unit and that unit are the left and the center. And then this next one, I'll show you how we'll do that. We'll take 1 of the C5s and 1 of the C4s. Let's move this out of the way now. This is the C5, and you can tell by the shape. This is the C4, and you can tell by its shape. And we'll sew those together like this. And once those are sewn together, we'll take the others and lay these out here. So this was 2 pieces, which is not shown on the layout. We're going to sew these 2 together first, and then sew the entire thing, these 2 pieces, to one of these, the B units. When you're sewing the C5s together, make sure that you have your pieces laid out the same way. And if this smart corner is straight and this one is at an angle, and here's your grain line. So if we put, here's the straight one, and there's the angle, and then here is the straight smart corner here, and here is the angle. So put those together like that. But I'll show you what I found to work the best. Unfortunately, this is dark fabric and it's difficult to see it, but right here, when your stitching comes off, this is a 1/4 inch, so use your 1/4 inch foot, and you can use a regular stitch length. There's a little bit sticking up still here, so I just make sure I line it up carefully on the top and the side and use a good 1/4 inch to start with, and then stitch your 1/4 inch all the way down. Now here is the part that gave me a lot of problems. I'll lift this up. You can see this is the top, so it's got the angle on it. And what I did was I start my stitching here, and I take 3 or 4 stitches. Then I come down here and make sure this edge is lined up, and I try to, as I'm stitching down here, wherever this top one, it's straight here, and this is at an angle, wherever these two meet, they need to meet right at the edge, and it forms kind of like a V right here. You can see where these stitches came off. So if you can get those to meet right there at the 1/4 of an inch, or when you come off of your stitching, this is right here where it makes sort of a V, big V shape, but it's where the two fabrics come together right at the end, right on the edge. So if you can get that, then you should have a nice straight edge along the top and the bottom. So here's the top, and so that's pretty good. There's a little bitty piece there. We're going to press towards the left, and here is the bottom, and it's pretty good too. That little nub is at the back. It's pressed, so that's pretty straight too. Now you'll do that with 16 pieces of your C5, and you'll sew together 8 sets just like this and press them all towards the left. When you stitch your 4 C5s to your 4 C4s, you do the seam the same way. This one is going to be exactly the same way. So just line up your tops again, this side here, stitch a 1/4 of an inch, and then as you come down here, you want to make sure that you have that little V again. So you might need to ease it in just a little bit, but it'll fit.